Stop what you are doing right now and go love yourself. It's been a long day. It's been a long week. It's going to feel like a long month. It's going to be a long year if you don't learn how to love yourself. You know how you like to be talked to. You know what gifts you like. You know what food you like to eat. You know how you like to spend your time. You need all the love languages. You need to start dating yourself. Romance yourself. You need to really convince yourself that you love yourself. How can anyone love you if you don't love you? Even if somebody loves you, right? And if you don't have that love living inside you because you love yourself, then that love that that person offers you is going to feel fake. It's going to feel temporary. It's going to feel short term. Love yourself. Take yourself out to eat, go to the movies, go to the beach, go out in nature, do something that allows you to connect with yourself. Out of the abundance of love that you have with yourself, then share that abundance of love with your family and your friends and your loved ones. Out of the abundance of love that you have for your loved ones, share the rest of that love with your members of your community. Out of the abundance of love that you have that you're sharing with your community, share that love with the rest of the people in your country, your nation. Until from sea to shining sea, we have brotherhood and sisterhood growing strong. We can change the world if you learn how to love yourself. Everything that I am today, I am because I learned how to love myself. There's been times I haven't been good at it. And to be honest, I, from time to time, need a refresher. Sometimes I need to be reminded to love myself and take care of myself. No one is beyond work in this area. All of us can do better. There's been times, especially for those people who are overachievers and perfectionists, where we get hypercritical. And this morning, I was feeling very critical of myself and the goals that I want to accomplish and how I want to make more progress on those goals. And I remembered a time when I was serving as an aircraft mechanic in the United States Air Force. I was stationed at Diego Garcia. It's a small island in the Indian Ocean. It's right there on the equator. And the environment, the weather there, we get tropical storms. And if you're ever familiar or if you've ever been on the island and you've experienced a tropical storm, it could be a blue sky, it could be a clear night, and then you smell a smell of fish. That's the first thing I noticed. I smell fish. And then like a couple of minutes later after you smell that fish, it's pouring rain. It just drenches. There's a huge downpour. And like 30 minutes later, it's clear skies again. So anyway, I was on the flight line working on the KC-10A extender, and I just finished launching an aircraft. I threw my tools on the truck, and the truck looked empty. It's the maintenance truck, and that's the truck that we ride out to jobs with, and the truck looked empty. It was dark. It was it was a clear sky. It was the moon was in the sky, and to my right, I noticed a movement. So I looked over and I saw a fellow airman, female airman, and she was a black girl, and she had the most bubbliest personality. She was always the person that made you smile. She had that dynamic sense of humor that she could say things that can kind of like throw you off but also make you laugh at the same time. And she also had like a light personality, meaning when she was around, people just seemed like they were in a better mood. I'm not going to say like she lights up the room and all that, but as a mechanic in the Air Force, we there's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of times when you're just jobbing for 12 hours a day, and we're expected to kind of just do the job and deal with whatever like mental or emotional or whatever hardships that come along. We just are expected to do the job and make sure the aircraft works. And so there's not a lot of time to joke around or to like show parts of your personality, but had this personality where it came across that she was this fun-loving person, even in a career that wasn't that really didn't encourage that type of personality. So anyway, she was sitting to the right, and the thing that I noticed about her was she there was like something like was shining on her face, and I looked over and I saw like the moon or something, like it glinted off her face, and I didn't want to stare because that's not me. And when I looked a little bit closer, I looked back again, I noticed that there was water coming out of her eyes. And that was the first time I saw a tear leave her eyes. She wasn't like boohoo crying or anything. Um, but it shocked me because she had such a nice personality, and it shocked me because I was seeing like tears fall from her face. And so I asked her, like, hey, is everything okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm just going through some things. And then I replied, I said, is there anything that I can do? Or is there anything that you want to talk about? And she said, there's nothing. I'm just going through some things. I'll be fine. And she just nodded, like, I'll be fine. I was like, oh, okay. And I just went on about my business. I just focused on my tools. I just looked straight forward and just like looked around the fight line and just acted as if like nothing was wrong, even though it was surprising to see someone with such a nice personality and such a happy personality have a moment of like sadness. It was a couple of minutes later, and we got a call to go out and launch another aircraft. And this aircraft needed a pre flight inspection and it needed more fuel. And we were the only two airmen or maintainers on the truck, so it was a two-person job. So we jumped off the truck, we arrived, jumped off the truck, I grabbed the tools, and we started doing the pre-flight and started putting fuel on the aircraft. And we were walking around doing the pre-flight inspection. For those of you that don't know, the KC-10A Extender was one of the biggest airplanes in the Air Force. And so doing the walk around on the pre-flight with the flashlight, it kind of takes a lot of time because you have to inspect all the panels and all that great stuff. So typically whoever is going out there doing the interior or doing the exterior inspection, it's like the one person is doing the exterior and then one person is doing the interior. And I was out there doing the exterior. And while I was walking around, I smelled fish. And I tried to speed up as much as possible, but before I could finish the exterior pre-flight inspection, it started pouring rain. And of course, we couldn't stop the pre-flight inspection because the aircraft needed to take off regardless. So I continued the pre-flight and I just got drenched, soaking wet. And she was inside, and she finished up the pre-flight inspection inside, and before you know it, the truck was there and we're getting ready to put on fuel. So we all had to go outside and start putting fuel on the aircraft. And as she put fuel on the aircraft, we were standing there putting fuel on the aircraft. She made a joke. She was like, you know, now that it's pouring rain, no one's going to be able to know if I was crying. I laughed and I was like, yeah, you're right. See, we're in a career field where crying is not a thing. Like, we don't cry. Crew chiefs, we don't cry. Security force in the Air Force, we don't cry. There's just certain careers in the military that a lot of sensitive people just don't go into those careers. And if you do go into those careers and you are emotionally sensitive, you build up like this armor that you use to protect your emotions. So you don't really express your emotions in a way that you would express them if you were a civilian, you never joined the military. And so we had a moment, I laughed, I was like, yeah, no one's gonna know. And for those of you that don't know, if you are seen as weak or if you are seen as like a crier or something, then you kind of like lose respect in certain circles in the military. And some people say it's toxic, but it's military bearing. We have to act a certain way in order to get the job done. So we finished putting in the aircraft, we wrapped up, we launched the aircraft, and we jumped on the truck. And it surprised me how many people were on the truck, how many maintainers were on the truck when we got on. And of course, we're just like, they're just joking around, like, giving each other crap or whatever. And I looked over and I saw her just like laughing and joking with everyone else as if nothing was wrong, like she wasn't going through anything. And I remembered that that instance. I remembered how quick she bounced back. And this morning when I remembered it, I remember that we're much deeper. We're much we're much fuller individuals than a lot of people give us credit for. There are people that may be close to us, people that we work with, that we go to school with, that we live with, that don't really know the struggles that we are dealing with internally. A lot of times when we're at school or at work, we're interacting in such a manner where we're interacting in our roles. We see each other as fellow coworkers, we see each other as fellow students, we might see each other as neighbors, and we look at each other as one dimensional based on how we interact with each other. But if we look at ourselves as one dimensional, or maybe look at ourselves as two or three dimensional, where we're like, hey, we're a student, we're in school, or we're a mother, or a father, or a son, or a daughter. And if we look at ourselves as two or three dimensional, we miss the whole person. We miss what it means to be human. There's something about our experience, which is what generated this video. There's something about our experience that is creative, that is intelligent, that has empathy. There's something about the way we are built that we're very social creatures. Relationships are very important to us. And in order for us to have healthy relationships with other people, we have to have a healthy relationship with ourselves. In order for us to love other people and to find and nurture and maintain that type of love that lasts longer than a lifetime, we have to learn how to love ourselves with the kind of love that lasts longer than a lifetime. And I understand that if you're like me, you're an overachiever, you're a perfectionist, we're very hypercritical. A lot of top performers are very hypercritical, not of other people, but of themselves, which is why we're able to perform at a high level because we're constantly learning, we're constantly developing, we're constantly looking at how we can do better. And then we're putting together plans in order for us to make all that happen. And along the way, we have to learn to be grateful for our progress, but if we're not careful, we'll forget to take care of ourselves. We'll forget to love ourselves. We'll forget to treat ourselves because we're so focused on our career. Many times in my professional career as an aircraft mechanic or as an officer in the United States Air Force, and even as a consultant at one of the big four accounting firms in the world, I forgot to take care of myself. And I knew I was forgetting to take care of myself because little things started to annoy me. I remember sitting in a conference room and I was working on some slides, and one of my coworkers suggested changing the color on a slide. And typically I'm just like, sure, why not? Let's change the color and let's move on. But I can tell something in my spirit was annoyed that I was being asked to change the color from like a red to a green. I was like, really? A different shade of green or a different shade of red or just different color altogether? Sure, let's just do it. But when I took a step back and I unpacked that angst inside me, I was able to map it back to the fact that I hadn't been taking care of myself. I've been traveling a lot. I was on the road. I was juggling multiple projects. I didn't take time to take myself to the beach or go to a happy place. I didn't take time to go to a restaurant and just eat whatever I wanted to eat. I wasn't taking time doing my meditation and making sure that mentally I had clarity and I was giving myself words of affirmation. I wasn't taking time to sweat out all my physical stress. I wasn't working out as much as I used to. And feeling that angst allowed me to have an opportunity to reset. And from time to time, even today, I reset. I jump on the motorcycle and I go to the beach. I'll go hit the gym. I'll work out until my body physically can't go anymore because it feels like I'm releasing that physical stress. I'll still meditate every day. because I know if I meditate every day, I'll make sure that my mind is clear. And when I give myself words of affirmation, I'll remember them throughout the day. I share with you what I'm doing, but you're going to have your own way of taking care of yourself. I encourage you to find it. Find your way of how you're going to take care of yourself and how you're going to love yourself. If you do that, your life will be much happier than what it is right now. You'll live a much more fulfilled life when you learn how to love yourself. You'll be more productive. Your team will be more productive. Your company will be more profitable. Who knows? You may even earn a raise and make more money than you've ever made in your entire life. You'll have more clarity. You'll be able to access more of your intelligence. You'll be able to be more creative. You'll be able to invent new things and discover new opportunities that other people cannot see. All because you learn how to love yourself. It gives you stamina, it gives you dexterity, it makes you agile when you experience challenges or you have to solve problems. Today, if you are struggling to get ahead, if you're struggling to reach your personal and professional goals, if you're struggling to find, nurture, and maintain that type of love that lasts longer than a lifetime, if you're struggling to find meaning in life and contribute to society, I want you to start right now with loving yourself. If you love yourself, you'll be able to love your loved ones. You'll be able to love the people in your community. You'll be able to love the people that live in your country, and you'll be able to create an impact that is much bigger than you. You're going to have to find a community. You may have to switch some things up. You may have to find a community full of people who believe in love. And if that's you, support this channel. I'm bringing together people who believe in love and who want healthy relationships so that we can change the economy, eventually change the economy, so that men, women, and children of every ethnicity can experience prosperity and live in harmony. And that's freedom. Learn to love yourself and help me secure freedom for future generations. All right, I'll see you in the next video.